I think the first time I met you, I didn't know you yet, but I heard your name was Jacquelyn. And the typography of your name, I love it. Your name in my phone is saved as Jacquelyn Munroe.
Really?
It's not Jackie.
No one ever calls me that, which is so funny.
The spelling is so fire. It's with the
Y.
C-Q.
Yeah, Jacquelyn. Fun fact, I didn't know how to spell my whole name until I was probably like in 5th grade because I never used it.
That's crazy.
And then I had to put on like the MCAS or something.
So you went by Jackie your whole life?
Yeah, I was never called. So like if someone says Jacquelyn, I probably won't answer. Like it doesn't like.
And where does Munroe come from? Like
my dad's last name, I think it's Scottish.
Oh.
I think it's Scottish, yeah.
You sound famous.
I think it's just because of Marilyn Monroe. I think people just like, oh, like you're related to Marilyn Monroe, and I was like, no, it's totally spelled differently.
No, I mean it has a nice ring to it. So your aura, I had to do some thinking as to like why I felt this color. It gives me Oxford blue.
Oxford blue.
You have a cool feeling to you.
Thank you.
But also like I feel like I would meet you at like a ball or something. Like I know right now you're in like a chill outfit, but like I feel like I would see you like drinking like wine or some shit.
You make me feel fancier than I am. It's good.
No, I don't know. Maybe I'm projecting.
Yeah, maybe you want to feel that way.
Yeah. Coming from Malden, how did that help you with what you're doing now, or how did that put you at a disadvantage, if any?
I think there were a lot of advantages. Like I think people always think maybe it was a disadvantage, but I don't feel that way whatsoever. I feel like I was exposed to a lot of different cultures, and I was exposed to a lot of different things that I think a lot of people don't get. So I feel like it only benefited me.
Right.
And I think, especially coming into like design and art, I definitely think you could look at it as a disadvantage. Like the art programs aren't great. Like I was really lucky that I had a mentor in like my art teacher. Like I was really lucky that like.
Are you talking about high school? Or
in high school,
college?
yeah. No, in high school, I was really lucky. He helped me like put
What's
my
the
portfolio.
logo?
Yeah, he helped me.
Oh,
He helped me
wow.
put my portfolio together to get into art school.
Wow.
And when he did, he was like, "Jackie, you might not get in," and I was like, "Ee, like woo, so
Oh, man.
yeah." But like I think I just got really lucky with the people who I met and surrounded myself with. I feel really lucky.
What happened? You used to dance, right?
Yeah.
I always thought that's, I didn't know if
Yeah.
that was something you like to do on the
No,
side.
that was like my first love.
Okay.
It was like dancing. Like I just wanted to dance. I was dancing like 7 days a week. I was teaching classes. I had like a long career. Like I traveled. I danced backup for a local singer. Like I did what I did and I loved it and I miss it. But eventually I think I'll find my way back to it. Like I feel like everything just kind of goes in a circle.
Right. So then, like, at what point in life, what got you into art?
I wasn't great at school. My mom would be like, if you come home with a C, like we're celebrating, like that type. Like I was just like, it was really, really hard for me. I had a lot of learning disabilities. My grandmother had always said like, oh, I know one day you're gonna work with clothes. Like I just know it. She would say it like right from the start when I was a kid. She's like, you're gonna put things together. Like you're a puzzle solver. Like that's what you like to do. Like when my sister and I went to college at the same time, my mom was like, oh, like I don't know how we're gonna do this. Like I don't know. And that was a big stress, but loans are a thing. And here I am paying off loans. Like, you know what I mean? So
I know when you were in college, we didn't get a chance to like hang out or link up as much.
I know.
But I was always watching from afar. I was always
Oh
proud.
yeah, no, for
like,
sure. It's like I always keep up with like people from Malden, like seeing what everybody's doing. I feel that.
When a relative of mine lent me that Mercedes back in the day,
Yeah,
you were the
yeah.
first person and the only person that I
feel
drove
lucky.
in that.
Yeah. And we were driving to go get like party supplies, I think.
Were we?
I think that was, yeah. I think we were driving to get stuff one time and I was like, wow, this is great. And now that's why we have expensive taste.
Right,
Because we didn't have expensive things.
Right.
And now we're like, oh, we could get expensive things.
How do you feel when do people ever classify you as snobby or say you're stuck up?
No, I don't think so.
People don't say that
Why,
to me,
you think that about me?
No, because you said you like nice things.
I do, but it's like, but some people are like, I don't know, why do you like nice things? I'm like, I like nice things because I never had nice things.
Right.
And now that I'm able to somewhat afford nicer things, I would rather buy that over the quantity. I'd rather buy quality over quantity and have it for a really long time. And especially when it's like you grew up like wearing Payless till you had holes in your shoes. Like, I mean, like, I'm like, okay, I like nice sneakers, you know, because I never had them.
Wait, lead us into now that you said sneakers.
Yeah, so I was a junior in college in the fashion design program. I had an internship previously, and then I got stuck in that same one, and I didn't want to be stuck there. I had applied for the ASICS one, and I didn't hear back. And I was like, all right, well, you know, you had to do an internship to get like a credit, like you had to pass them, you know? So I got stuck doing the old internship that I had already done again, and I really didn't want to do that. And eventually, like, I got a call one day, like random, and I was like, I don't know who this is. And it was ASICS, and they were just like, hey, we've decided to pick you. Later, I'd come to find out that I was not the first choice, which is so funny. But I think that, honestly, you know how some things just kind of feel like fate?
Yeah.
Total fate moment. And like the woman who is my mentor now, we ended up having like all these weird life similarities, and it was just like crazy. Like we're like, oh, we were meant to meet. Like this is wild. I was like, you know, figuring it out kind of as I went, and like I got to do like a apparel collection for LA Marathon, and so that was a big deal. So I had shirts, I did bags, I did hats, I did socks. Like I was able to like do a bunch of different stuff, and then I had spent 2 weeks on the team that I'm on now in footwear, and then eventually my internship was like coming to an end, and they're like, oh, we're gonna miss you, we don't want you to leave. And I was like, I don't have to leave. like closed mouths don't get fed. I had one person tell me that, and I'm like, that is the closed mouths don't get fed. You gotta ask for what you want. You can't be silent about it, you gotta push it. And so I was like, all right, keep me on. And eventually they reopened the position, and I got hired full-time in August.
Well, introduce us to your latest creation.
Okay.
Start off with the name.
They're called the Daylights, and it was a daylight pack. So I've also did a GT2. Okay. But yeah. So this is a Jelly 3. Basically, we were just trying to go back to like doing what ASICS does best, and that's like crazy color, and like colors that run and stuff. So yeah, that was kind of like retro.
Wait, do you mind if I?
Yeah. So yeah, these were the final samples.
So what made you guys go with the mint green insole? So
I think it's called Tourmaline. We wanted to use that color. There was just like, I just like started pulling colors that I knew were going to be super bright and take really well to the materials that we were using. Because sometimes like things get a little duller on like a nubuck or, you know, a suede of some sort. So just things that you knew would pop. And I think we probably did 2 or 3 sample rounds before we like ended up on this one. And this was like the final. But I definitely, when I was doing it, like crazy colors is not my aesthetic.
And
I'm very minimal. Very minimal in that sense. Like I'm more of like a neutral type of gal. So this pushed me so far out of my comfort zone. Like I was just like doing this, and I'm like, this just looks crazy. Like it wasn't, you know, clicking, and the merchandiser who I was working with to do it was just like, no, like this is gonna work. Like here's, you know, it's gonna go to boutique stores and stuff. So the crazy thing is like it got so much hype, which was crazy because normally that's our collab shoes and not our like more inline product, SMU product that's going to, you know, boutique stores. So, you know, it was kind of just like one weird thing. Like it just like people just liked it and people were really happy with it. And I think it's kind of just going back to ASICS roots, and I think that's what people really want. They don't necessarily need, they just want something different, but it doesn't need to be too crazy. Like all you need is a solid like color blocking.
I seen you post the other day that they're reselling.
Yeah.
Retail, right?
And those people are dummies because it's coming out June 11th. So next Friday on my birthday, they're dropping on the ASICS website.
On your birthday?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Yeah, that was like totally strange, but yeah, like people are like paying like $300 for these, and I'm like, that's cool. You're crazy, but that's cool. But
you just gave it away that you're a Gemini. Hopefully.
Yeah, no, I know. That's why I'm like not trying to like let people know that I'm a Gemini, but I am.
No, that's all good.
So.
It's all good.
Yeah, I have in my Instagram bio, I'm like, I'm sorry in advance for being a Gemini. Like, I get such a bad rep for it, but.
I seen it was getting a lot of traction on like blogs, and the first blog I didn't know
Yeah.
you worked on the shoe until Sneakers by Women posted it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's amazing.
You know her personally?
She lives in the UK. I connected with her through Sneakers by Women,
Yeah.
and she posted something about ASICS, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so glad to see like you posting about ASICS. Like, you know, out of my team, there's 4 of us, and 3 of us are women. So, and that like never happens for SMU and collabs and stuff like that and sports style stuff. So that was really cool. And she was just like, oh, I've been trying to get in at ASICS for years, and I just didn't know anybody. And so I was just like, oh. And then it took a few months, and I was like, hey, I finally have something that I like could showcase, like I could like present, you know, and I felt like good about it. And she's just so nice. Like she really is, and she just really just wants to like get like sneakers like by women out there. Like that's like her goal. Like she does it really well.
How do you feel about women being marginalized across the board in like all industries, but more specifically the footwear industry?
I mean, it sucks. So there's that.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, most of the industry is cis, like white gendered men. So anytime that like
Wait, before you go on,
Yeah.
I hope it's not like jeopardizing anything for you.
no. I mean, that's just like I'm just stating a fact. Like
Okay.
that's not something that's controversial. That's just true.
Right.
So it's difficult to get shine when shine is going other places.
Do you see it changing?
I see it changing, and everybody's always like, you know, Jackie, I thought you were such like a glass half full type of gal, and like when you talk about this, it seems like glass half empty, and I'm like, no, I'm very hopeful, but we also have to be realistic, because like let's not just like sugarcoat it. Like we gotta tell like it is, like that's true. So like we're not gonna lie about it, but I am hopeful that I think things are changing, and I think just like the Instagram, like the Sneakers Women thing, I'm like, that's amazing. Like just to be able to put shine on women and like have women be able to like at least claim something. And like when you claim your seat at the table, like you make sure you got something to say.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if you're just like, I want a seat at the table, that's fine. But like make sure like you're ready to speak up and then lift others up to the table.
Right.
Like make sure everybody eats when you get there.
Right.
So yeah.
When you see women being marginalized, does it make you adopt a resentment towards men? Like, do you find yourself?
No,
at any time?
I don't think it's like that, because honestly we want to be equal. Like it's not like I'm just like, oh, I want to be over you. Like that's not the case. Like I just literally want to sit at the same table as you. We just like that's on. Like I have no problem bringing you up too. You know what I mean? Like I have no problem like lifting someone else up. But it's like we just all have to lift each other up. So we just gotta claim our space. You know?
No, for sure. Have you gotten a chance to see anybody wearing those in public?
No, not yet, and I'm waiting for it too. I'm like really excited. Like
they didn't release it, right?
So they did on a lot of boutique accounts. So I think Oneness in Kentucky, they dropped. I know they're for a fact they're at Concepts on the wall.
Okay.
Next week for the Gel Light 3, that Concepts, I'm going to the drop, so I'm like gonna try to like take a picture of these on the wall. Like it's so cool. Like if you would have told me that like I don't know, if you had told me like 2 years ago that I would have a shoe that's like in Concepts, like on a wall, I would have been like, you're a big fat stinking liar.
Right.
Like that's not happening.
Right.
But yeah, it's very cool.
Take me back, and if it's too personal to speak on, you could let me know. And just, but with the passing of your mother, how did that take a toll, and how long ago was that? Because I do remember.
Yeah, so she was sick for a while. She had a big surgery, and they thought it worked. And then, so she was fine for like a year, maybe 2, and then she kind of got sick again. There was probably like a few months where kind of going back and forth on that, and like, it was what it was. I was so busy that it's like hard to think about like anything else, and it's hard to be sad or be stressed when it's like you're so busy. And so then we knew for about a week that she was gonna pass, and that was hard because I like was in class. It's like I just needed space, and I just didn't want anyone in my head or in my ear. Like that was so brutal, and it was so hard. And like I'm glad that I like stuck it out and that I didn't like take some time off. I had already taken a whole year off. Like I didn't want to I just wanted to get it done. Like I wanted to get that degree and get out, and I was a freshman, you know? I still had so much more time, and I knew that if I took some time off, I wouldn't go back. And the one thing my mom said was just like, please, like, don't get out of school. Like, please, like, stay in school, like, and get the degree and just finish it?
I only asked that question because, I mean, I lost my dad at 13. But it's a hard thing for people to speak about, and especially when you don't have the common ground of losing somebody that close. People are like, you would never understand. So I just, you know.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
And just how we go through our day-to-day lives.
It's so different.
I don't know what you deal, after you leave here, I don't know what you deal with. And you
have no clue. Like, you have no clue what someone else is going through, and I feel like it's taught me to give people a lot of grace, because it's just like, oh, I was showing up to class and nobody had any clue. You know what I mean? So it's like, just give people the grace and the space, and like, you know, you never know what someone else is dealing with on the other end, you know?
We hate pity.
Oh yeah, no, I hate the pity. I hate the pity. It's the worst feeling. So, and that's, you know, you're gonna get it too when like their birthday comes up, or like their death date comes up, or like, you know, like people start to like feel bad and they start to like try to like pity you a little, and it's always like, oh, it's the worst time. I would wish you all just shut up about it. Like, you know.
Do you give yourself room to like mourn and cry still?
I like grieved about it for a long time, and I think we kind of grieve every day. Like, I'm like, oh, there's totally moments where it's like I want to call her, I want to talk to her, I want to tell her about something, but you can't always let that interfere with the day-to-day. And sometimes I'm like, if I can just get through this day without thinking about it, without crying, without, you know, like festering on it, that would be better. Like, life is just so short. Like, I think that's the one thing I realize. I'm like, life is just so short. Like, you just don't know. And so it's just like, you got to do what you love. That was the last thing my mom said to me. It was like, if you don't love it, don't do it. It's not worth it. Life is way too short. She was like, if you're not doing something she's like, I spent my life doing stuff that I didn't love because of other people or the situation I was in, or because I didn't get to that point. She was like, so if you can like do something that you genuinely love every day, like, what are you waiting? Like, just do it. Like, don't hold back. And so even if that's like, oh, I don't want to go hang out with that person today. I can't deal with their energy today. I don't want to go do this. I feel like I need this day. Oh, like, you gotta do it, because if you're not enjoying it, then what's the point? You know?
Bravo.
Thanks.
Bravo, Jack.
It's crazy. I feel like we haven't seen each other in so long.
Right.
Like, isn't that wild?
That's why you're ready to dap me up first? You don't want to give me
Yeah. No, I don't know. Like, it's just so weird. Like, I just feel like we have like such a good like connection in that sense, where it's like, I know that if I don't see you for a while, like, we're still going to have that same conversation going. Like, it's never like a problem. You know what I mean?
The only reason you don't see me more is because the $1 million would happen.
I know. Yeah. Well, one eats, we all eat. So that's what you got to do. You got to stick it out.
So true. But thank you, though.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.